after call center, then you went back to trading full time, until the founding of Zerodha?
Yeah, so what happened was I think around 2005, I was working out in a gym.
Right.
And I met this person called Prakash who had come back from the US.
Right.
And he had a bunch of money on him. And he asked me, Nithin, what do you do, etc. We get talking, we had a drink, and I was trading with ICICI Direct back then. I showed my account performance. I said, I trade the markets, and I'm doing all right. So he said, why don't you do this for me as well? And so he cut a check of 24 lakhs. I mean, the best guy. I mean, like even today I'm indebted to him. And because him cutting the check meant I immediately quit my job.
Right.
And I said, you know what, I'm going to trade for you, and you give me some portion of the profits if it works. Okay. So in 2005 I quit. And he was my first customer. And slowly that customer base, kind of grew, like word of mouth, etc. Around 2006 is when it became hard to manage multiple people's relationship.
Yeah.
And I decided to become a sub-broker, so a franchisee of a larger broker.
Okay.
And because it gave me a terminal through which I could manage relationship with a bunch of people.
Right.
So I became a franchisee of Reliance Money. Reliance, the Anil Ambani group had started a broking firm back in 2006. So I set up an office, a small little office on Banagata Road, and I started doing that. And that was like another introduction to the business, because until then I was just a trader.
Right.
Now as a franchisee, I started getting to know how a broking firm works.
Right.
As in, like some of my friends from those days were people who were working with Reliance and etc. So I started going to their main offices, getting in on those conversations, and kind of getting a sense of what it takes to be a broker. I also did a lot of, around those time between 2006 to 2008 when we were sub-brokers, actively. I started going around town, setting up stalls for Reliance Money and trying to get brokerage accounts. While becoming a sub-broker was more about managing this relationship, it also soon became, what if I can go build another parallel source of income, which is how sub-broking works is you introduce customers to the broker. Every time they transact, they pay you a certain commission of the... So I've set up stalls in almost every software company, from Cisco to, lunchtime you'll have a stall, and you'll have a laptop showing the terminal. And so I think that was another piece of journey that I think that helped significantly, in the Zerodha journey itself, just to know how another broker works.
And during this phase, for when you're using Prakash's Money and other people, were you taking risk on their behalf, or they are mostly giving you the strategy and you?
No, it was me advising them essentially.
So you could do pretty much whatever you want to, and they will, as long as you generate meaningful returns. You must have run into 2008 during that phase.
No, 2008. So the thing is, also around 2006, 7 is also when Nikhil joined me.
Right.
Nikhil is 6-7 years younger to me, and because I had already set such low benchmarks in my house, then there was not too much expectation of Nikhil from education.
Also the benchmark has been reset many times in the last 15 years.
Yeah. No, but it was so I dropped off in my first year engineering. Nikhil, I think the second year, but Nikhil dropped off at his 11th standard. So the benchmark in the family went low. So, but yeah. So Nikhil joined around 2006-7, and he also started trading at 16-17. Because I had anyways started trading, so he was introduced to that early. And around 2007-8 is also when I realized that Nikhil is a better trader than I am, right? Because trading is about, you need like some inborn skills. Trading is like art, it's like playing music, it's like playing, I trading stocks, right? So the realization was he's a better trader. And then I was like, if he's a better trader, so maybe I should give more time to something else, right? And I think the first seeds of that got sowed in around 2007-8. So I was, Nikhil used to trade. I used to try to get customers.
Okay.
And I used to trade actively. And 2008 is really Nikhil did a phenomenal job of making money that year.
So he was able to figure out and anticipate.
Yeah. No, he was short on the market.
Short on the market, incredible, yeah.
So, in the sense...
India equivalent of big short.
No. It was... we were day traders. So the thing about day trading is that even if you're right,
Yeah.
you're out very quickly, right? Because you're there only for a few minutes, few whatever.
And like literally day trader, you will exit all positions before day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you sit on cash and
You sit on cash. So yeah, it was not like a big shot kind of, care like, I don't know, what, 2,000% or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's still, we didn't lose money that year. We made money that year. But I think one of the things I didn't enjoy in that phase of managing people's relationships and money, etc., was being, having to pick up their phone calls.
Right.
Which is like everyone, what's happening to the market? What's happening to my money? And one of the reasons, I think today, like if I think about Zerodha being bootstrapped and us not raising money, probably that is about to do something, which is today I don't have to pick up anyone's phone call. Right.
Yeah.
And I find, I allow that freedom that I have, right? Not being obligated to someone.
Right.
Because that period, that like 3-4 year period where I used to manage people's money, I felt obligated, right? As in, if I'd taken money from someone, he'll call me in the middle of the night, I'll pick up the phone call.
Right.
And if he says, oh, come here, let's have a party. I mean, I essentially couldn't say no to anyone who had, given me money. So
I've been picking investors' calls for the last 15 years. I don't party with them, fortunately. But yeah, I had to pick the calls.
Yeah, so it's, so 2008 was all right. 2009, I think one of the things that I also did in that journey between 2000, 2001 to 2008-9 was I was also very active on the online trading communities. I used to run some really large Yahoo Messenger groups.
Okay.
And I used to be active on, there used to be all these forums called Traders G, India Traders, etc. I used to be very active on this forum in my pseudo form.
Yeah.
Because I found it very, like I said, in the call center, very powerful not being Nithin Kamath on the call and being Nathan Hawk, who can be any personality.
Yeah.
And people are not judging. So on all of these forums, I had, I used to call myself different names and, I used to be very active. And which again, when Zerodha started, I think the first few customers came because of that name.
Right.
That I had some reputation that it built up. And we used that to get to the first 10,000-20,000 customers really came that way.
And that, again, you guys were managing their money or they were using your platform for trading on their own?
No. Until 2008-9, until before Zerodha, there were two sets of customers. One who were trading on their own. We were sub-brokers. We used to get commission every time they trade. Right. And there was like 100, 80 to 100 customers for whom we used to help manage money, etc. Right. And 2009 is when we said, dude, this. I said, I can't be. I don't enjoy this obligation. Why don't we return all the money? And also, the whole idea of Zerodha actually started in 2009.
Right.
And also the enabler of the idea was this NSE. Because see, to be a stockbroker, you need a trading platform,
right,
where customers can come place orders. Second, you need what is called as a back office platform, where at the end of every day, you process all the trades, generate contract note, maintain ledger.
Yeah.
And you need a website for marketing, right? As in, so in 2008, NSE, and the National Stock Exchange of India, launched a platform called NSE Now, a white label platform of sorts. So a broker becomes a member of NSE. You could use that NSE Now platform and offer trading without any cost.
Yeah.
The question, the whole question we asked in 2008-9 was, if you have a trading platform, even though it is bare bones platform, if they can come to you for free, is there a way to go build an online only business and give it to traders at very low cost?
Right.
All these trading communities that I was part of, one of the big problems we all had was the brokerage fees we used to pay back then.
Right.
And brokerage fees for services that you never used.
Right.
Like if a broker has a fancy office in Bombay and fancy relationship managers, and I as a customer don't use any of it,
right,
why should I be paying for all of that?
And that was like what, 1 to 2%?
I mean, not 1 to, I mean, it come down to 0.5, 0.7% for, but our focus was not equity investors. Okay. Our focus was day traders like us.
Okay, right. So and it adds up very fast.
Yeah, I mean, you can, in a day if you've done 50 trades,
right,
even if it's 0.05%, it adds up really quickly. So the original plan of Zerodha was only for active traders, like people who are actively trading the markets. We will give them a platform which is which places orders quickly,
right,
which is what active traders require.
Mm-hmm.
And we will try to be as transparent as possible. We will try to reduce the cost as much as possible. And that's how Zerodha started. And the plan was Nikhil continues trading. I will go attempt at building this like a broking business.
And now trading on your own account, not for other.
Yeah. But then it was, we had like 25-30 lakh rupees with us. And so the plan was Nikhil trades on the 25-30 lakh rupees. And I go attempt building this. And if this fails, I'll also join trading. That was like the backup plan. And we were like, even if it fails, we were like, we are spending 2-3 lakh rupees of brokerage.
Right.
For our own trading, we are paying 2-3 lakh rupees a month. So we would have saved 2-3 lakh rupees a month on this.
See, in that story, I'm seeing a lot of actually foundational choices you're making. Probably more for intuition and the experience, which is probably very relevant for early stage entrepreneurs. One is, you said you were very clear you're only building for traders at the time, so very focused. In some ways, niche play. You also bet on online was just trying to take off. I was also trying to build an internet business at the time. Hardly anybody on internet.
Right.
But you guys, that big leap of faith.
Right.
Third is, you were disrupting something. You wanted to crash that, brokerage fee by an order of magnitude.
Right.
So it's like by definition differentiated. And you had a backup plan because you already had a skill set and confidence. And so that was all you need, right? You were, I don't know how conscious all of those.
No, it was not.
In retrospect, that's this brilliant. That's a probably big part. Why your story.
But also the thing is, we decided to do this in the middle of the worst times for stockbroking.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
2010 was the worst year for stock brokerage as an industry ever. Right? Because after the financial crisis, the 2008 year, there was a lot of volatility, so people made money.
Yeah.
2009, the volatility disappeared. Right? Stockbrokers make money when there is volatility.
Right.
And 2009-10 were really the worst years for stockbroking as an industry. Now, looking back, it seems like it was such a smart decision to pick up. But like back in 2009-10, when I was talking about being a stockbroker, people like, what are you even talking about? Because the stockbrokers themselves were diversifying.
Right.
Like a lot of stockbrokers of the 2000 to 2010 era, like your IFL, India Bulls, all of them, they were diversifying to real estate and everything else.
Yeah.
And we were here trying to start a broking firm around. That timing also was just brilliant because until around 2000, I don't think people even thought of us seriously until 2016-17, right? Because one was stockbroking as an industry wasn't doing that, right? And two was like, people are like, you can maybe not make money ever.
Yeah.
Another thing, a fourth choice on us was when we started the business, the net worth requirement to be a stockbroker, right, is different if you're a partnership and it's different if you're a private limited company.
Okay.
It's lower for a partnership.
Got it.
It's around 90 lakh rupees, and for a private limited, it's around 1.5 crores.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have, 1.5 crores on us, we had I think 1.2, 1.3, with 25 lakhs was Nikhil was trading with. We became a partnership.
Right.
We were a partnership firm till 2018-19.
Wow.
So the thing about partnership firm is it allows you to be in stealth.
Right.
No one can access your financials.
Right.
So for like 6-7 years, people didn't know anything about our financials.
Right.
Because usually what happens, right, your competitors usually get attracted by profit pools and revenue and growth and all of that, right? So no one really could access any of that of ours. So it allows us to be slowly, the growth was nothing phenomenal. Until 2016, I think we had like 80,000 customers.
Right.
But the fact that it kind of allowed us to be stealth also meant, we didn't have as much competition in those years.
Yeah.
But I think looking back, we did a lot of smart choices, but it wasn't meant to be smart, So
there must have been obviously some intuition. You can get so many things right, including, timing. And there is now a lot of literature say, best time to start a new venture is when it's a downtime. And today you look at, EdTech, not many people will start EdTech venture. It's probably a really good time because the whole industry is going through a transformation. But unfortunately in the larger investment world, the whole herd mindset, just always plays out. 2021, everyone had to be in EdTech, and today no one wants to. But I think every downturn, incredible companies come out, and good to see this pattern also matching that. Right, Zerodha was founded right after one of the biggest financial meltdown, at least in the modern times.
Well, I think my life is full of contradictions, right? When I on the one side I say to active traders, don't go against the trend,
right?
Like on the other side, I myself went against the trend. Like in a sense, this whole starting in 2010 was an against the trend trade, right? So it worked out really well.
Right.
And also, when people, so I haven't taken a single trade from 2010. right? Because now the way I think of is Zerodha is really the biggest trade of my life,
Right.
Because everything is a trade in life, right? I mean, I think, a lot of people think of trading more as trading stocks,
Right.
But it's more trading your time,
Right.
to do what can give you the maximum return for your time, right? And I think my skill sets in life is better suited to be a broker. So we all need to be doing, I think, stuff that, your odds of getting lucky also improves if you're doing stuff where you're more skilled.
Right.
Right. And so I think it's it's been kind of that kind of a journey.
This self-realization, that realizing exactly what you're good at, because I'm pretty sure you are pretty decent in trading as well, but making the choice that, broking is my thing, I'm going to over-index, and last, 13 years you've been doing that, obviously, phenomenally successfully, is just outstanding, right? And you're probably, around 30 or so at that time. That's another big part of, I think, just to be a good entrepreneur, to really understand and be able to articulate to yourself what I'm good at, and therefore what are all the other things I'm not good at and will not be good at it.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I think, like some of these realization, I think I give so much credit to my, the days of very actively trading the markets, the blowing up. It's because some of these realization came from those mistakes, and like when you're sitting down and thinking, dude, why did I do what I did? I think you tend to get better, making mistakes in life, right? As in, if everything in your life is hunky-dory and everything is right, when you're pushed to the edge, you don't know how you'll react, right? Because I've been pushed to the edge many times in my journey, and especially before Zerodha. Not as much in Zerodha, because I think it's been very not as volatile as the journey until Zerodha. So so it's kind of helped me. I think when pushed to an edge, I know how I'll react. It's kind of helped me, I think, do the business better. And usually, when entrepreneurs come and ask me, I tell them exactly the same. I think one of the big reasons why Zerodha has worked well was because there was core competence in build before starting a builder's business. If I started Zerodha in 99, 2000, unlikely that we would be doing this way, right? As in, because I probably wouldn't have learned about myself as an entrepreneur. And I think you need to, whatever they say, right? And sharpen the axe before you go chopping wood. So it's one of those things. I think everyone, because today this whole starting up is so glorified, right? And like people sitting in a coffee shop, something
doesn't lead anywhere. It's glorified, but doesn't necessarily translate into outcome.
Yeah. So I think building core competency is probably one of the most important things in any entrepreneur.
No, I want to underline that. I mean, it's like 10 years is probably a random number, but the fact that you guys spent, I think 12, 13 years very actively trading and dealing with the blows and ups and downs and pattern matching and so on. I think whoever wants to start in any area, at least a decade of deep exposure, then you will be able to see angles, that other people can't see, and a lot of things will be familiar to and so on. I mean, you can't just pick up a new industry and just because cool and crypto is happening, or we are, metaverse is happening and I'm going to start a company next year, is very unlikely. Or if you get into it and somehow survive for 5-10 years and then have, that wealth of knowledge.
I mean, there are outliers like, Zuckerberg, where people have suddenly, picked up something randomly. I think it's also about timing, right? As in, they were at the right time, right place. They probably were extremely skilled. I know there are some outliers, but unlikely that you can be that outlier. The odds of that, that happening is much, much, much lower than the odds of someone who's experienced trying to build a business. The odds actually improves, I think, exponentially.
Yeah.
Right.
What is the critical part? Even, if you go 2004, all the companies of, whatever, Ivy League dropouts would have started. It's probably only one or two Zuckerberg equivalent, right? Only one, right? So those are, very difficult to optimize for that. I'm going to, it's like, again, stock picking, right? You pick the stock which is going to outperform everything for next 20, 30 years. And no one can do that.